Do you wanna? I was gonna say a funny intro, but I think we can just.
Yeah, it's gotta be natural.
I know we gotta. Can't force this shit. Okay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hotline Miami 2 Level Editor Tutorials. I'm Rob.
And this is Matt. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, Rob, what are we talking about today?
Today we are finally covering mods. Hooray!
Damn.
Finally! Those cool things that let your level have a little extra flavor. Do you want some cool new faces? Cool new enemy sprites? Cool new furniture? Do you want just, a whole host of things? We're gonna teach you that today. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I want to cover how to install other people's mods, because first things first, you need a mod folder. So basically, we're immediately just quitting out of the game, and you're gonna find it in the files. So, it's been forever since I pulled this up. Basically, it's documents, my games, Hotline Miami 2, and then you'll see something like this. Now, if you don't see this mod folder, alright, now
The master one.
yeah,
Master one.
here's your master mod folder. Now, mods on this, it's like your default mods. So, if you play another person's campaign with mods, yours will be overwritten if they're replacing the same thing. But like, say they have a floor mod, but not a mafia mod, and you have a mafia mod, then you'll see your mafia mod and their floor mod. But basically, the subscribed mods folders take precedent, which if you open up levels, we go to single, and I open up this, like, here's the mod folder. Now, if you're gonna go, but Rob, when I open it, I don't see a mod folder. It's pretty simple, little Jimmy. You just click, new folder, and type in the word mods. That's it, all lowercase, and it knows what to do. It's mad at me now for making two mods folders. And that's the same concept in the single levels. And so when you open it up, you have nothing. Now, you fill this folder with things called patch wads. So, let's take...
What's a patch wad?
Yeah, so let's take a skinny over
Gander.
to the level editor wiki. Now, the wiki is the hub for all the mods that you're allowed to use. People like, as you met last episode, Yasarian, keep this pretty well updated, and it looks like he's recently, this is new to me, if you look at the wiki, he's like divided it up by faction mods now, so that's really useful.
Oh
And
damn, that is. Yeah, that's new.
so let's do Mafia to Police by this guy, and because there's a whole bunch of like faction swap mods, so we're going to go to Dropbox, and we're going to download it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is really helpful now because before there was like a straight down list,
Yeah, I
like a
would just
drop
like
down list of
Control
just
F and hit
everything.
like type gang if I needed a gang one. But this is so yeah. So thanks, Yasirian. You're helping us
Yeah,
from beyond.
whoever edited the wiki, because I know like I think multiple people can do it. Whoever's
It's
like
him
active or
mostly,
something.
but so basically you'll have this file, and so it's Mafia to Police. So you go to your downloads, you search Mafia 2, and you take it, copy it, and put it in your mods folder. And so next time you boot up the game, and now let's build something, and we'll go the rat because he fights mafia. And look, here's mafia. Here's a police officer with an AK with a M16. So isn't that cute, you guys?
Of course, this default doesn't fight police for some reason, but hey, now you can make a police station level.
Yeah, we never got that fucking jacket to jacket being able to fight police faction mod, but now we have a replacement. So you know, so that's the simple way you add other people's mods. Music you have to do a bit differently, but even like sound effects, like everything, you just plop it into that general mods folder, and it works for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So all you people here, just to take other people's mods, that's how you do it. It's I would highly suggest you credit anyone's work that you use, like in your description or your credits of your level. But now you're like, but Rob, I looked all up and down that wiki and I can't find what I want, so I'm gonna have to make my own. Now we get to travel to the WAD Explorer, and this is how those guys make their mods. So I think the link is on the. I'm almost certain the link is on the wiki.
Yeah, it's near the bottom, I think.
Yeah.
WAD.
Let's see here.
WAD.
Yeah, under raw assets and tools. First one right here, HLM WAD Explorer. So basically, this thing, it's safe to download. It takes all the assets from the game and like organizes them. So I'm not going to download it because I have it, but here's the website, and I'll make sure to link this to you guys in the description. So it's under my downloads, WAD Explorer, and we'll boot that up. Here it goes. So you're gonna get something looking like this, and you have a search bar to type in the exact thing you're looking for. Pretty much everything is here, and it's a little bit like Insider Baseball. So here's all the sprite sheets. So that's every animation that the soldier does, but it's a little Insider Baseball where it's a bit difficult to find some things. Like to find, say, furniture, you go atlases, then sprites, then furniture, and then it shows you like the names of like where that furniture shows up, or if it's just general. So like the cop, and then the boat, which is dead ahead, and then here's like all the sprites for the boat. And here you have, and so for every single object in the game, it's like almost every single. We're missing a couple things here, but pretty much everything you could need, from fonts to things. You get the full sprite sheet and the meta. And I don't think we figured out a way to alter the meta very well. But at least with sprites, you can do it. I know how to do it with fonts, but you'll see this. And so what you'll want to do is let's find the Mafia. Yeah. So here's all the Mafia, and we hit this button and we extract it, and we're gonna extract it to a photo. Let's extract it to our pictures. I think it's gonna work. Yep. And so now we're gonna want to open up GIMP or whatever image editing software. Don't use MS Paint because it doesn't know how to do like layering or like have
a background that's like transparent.
Yeah, it doesn't have. That's the word, transparent background. So GIMP's free.
Yeah, we've mentioned previously like the main two that you should look at is GIMP and Paint.net. But yeah, either program is excellent with these mods in general, and we'll talk about spriting in another video.
And so you're gonna want to find it. GIMP like names their things in reverse alphabetical order, and it drives me nuts.
Really?
Yeah. So here we go. And so now you have your whole sprite sheet available to you, and here's this is where it gets a bit difficult, because it like if you ever seen like stop motion animation, it's the same thing where all the animations, all the frames in the animations are here. Whoops, what did I just do? And so like a walking sprite is like 7 or 8 sprites of him like moving his arms, and then like here's the leg sprites down here.
Yeah, some of them, the animations are like vertical, so almost if you take your cruiser and like go up, you can see it like that.
This is literally like what Dennis did use to like make his stuff, and like I know in like Game Maker there's like ways to like make the sprite sheet so you can like edit and then click the next one, but most like it's if you're gonna do it in GIMP, you're just gonna like eyeball it, and so I'm not here to teach you. Like next episode, we're gonna try to show you some tips and tricks for GIMP, but because that's the one I know the best. But there's no way to teach you how to get good at sprites. You just have to practice, practice, practice. The easiest thing and the one that you see the most of is recolors. So this thing up here, you click that, and so now it selects every single version of white. And let's lower the threshold a bit. So every single version of white, and then I'm gonna hit paint tool. What color do you want the Mafia to be?
Let's do a light purple.
Light purple.
That's really specific.
Okay. What country of origin are these Mafia from, Matt?
Argentina.
Okay, the Argentina Mafia. And then we're gonna choose the little gray accents. I'm going to lower the shade a bit.
Pretty.
Let's go a lot further.
We're like, shout out Argentina. Like,
shout out to Argentina
no
and your purple Mafia guys. So you guys have to deal with that. Stay safe out there. What color should their undershirts be, Matt?
Let's do. I was about to say white. No, that's stupid. You decide. I can't think. We'll go with purple.
We're gonna go with bright yellow.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm trying not to use my shortcuts, so they can see me click the tools. Like on GIMP, I've set up the shortcuts of the tools I use the most, so I'm just going fast because like you're editing these very similar looking sprites over and over and over again, and like once you get to like know the game, like the really inner workings, you can look at like a strip of sprites, be like, oh, I know what that is, or like say you're making a sprite sheet of the Mafia guys and you're not going to have Evan fight them, then you can just like not screw with the ones where they're like in pain, like writhing on the ground. Which,
yeah, that's a nice thing. Once you like, really break it down, you don't have to do everything. So
yeah, because like there's really no simple way to do some things. Like literally the armbands of the Nazi soldiers that I made for Berlin Blitz, I went in there and personally made every single armband. Sound crazy? Yeah. You're gonna have to put some work into this if you want
well, that's what
sprites.
Yeah, I made that Vengeance remake, and the club manager was basically the sprite sheet. If you look at it, it is similar to Jake, and so the only thing I really had to do was like the standard like unarmed walking sprite, and also just his death sprite in general, because you have the option to kill the manager. And so I just, of course, looking at the whole thing, I had like the freedom to not, or I didn't have to go through and really do all of it, which would be pointless really. Right. But yeah, just kind of use common sense and just be like, what do I need, what do I don't.
So ask in the comments, like, because it's insider baseball, and like the Dinaton didn't make this easy for anyone outside of their two-man team, how to use these things. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like the fat mafia for both the Colombians and the mafia are on this on the mafia sheet, as well as the white and now they're purple mafia legs are used by both the Sun and the henchman. So if you want to make a Sun mod and make him all in black, to get his legs black, you have to make the legs here black. So keep that in mind. Also, I don't know why these Colombians are here. I think they're cut content.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff with some sprite sheets that, like,
you'll
of
learn
course.
To ignore stuff. But yeah, so now that we have this, we're going to hit overwrite enemy mafia. And so now that's it. And so we pull it back up the WAD Explorer, and we're going to choose resource and hit replace, or you can do the shortcut. And so we want to find the correct sprite sheet, which is enemy mafia. So we're looking for E's right here. And just making sure I'm recording. Okay, and so now it'll be bold right here, and that'll tell you that it's different, and it's like altered from the vanilla game. And you're going to want to save that, and it will directly put the Mafia sprite into the game, or into your mods folder, now that you have it created. So we're going to call it Argentine Mafia. I don't think I spelled that right. And we're going to save. And then it'll ask you want to open folder, so you can double check, and that's good because now I'm going to delete the Mafia to police thing out, so you'll actually be able to see it. And if you're going to do more than one sprite sheet in a single patch wad, because like we just created a patch wad, which as you open it up, like it's Mafia, Argentina to Mafia, and it adds the .patch wad for you. So if you're going to do that, it's really important. So say I do like enemy Colombians and Mafia, and then I realize there's a mistake on the Colombians. And so I fix it in GIMP and just do everything to put it back. Once it hits save, for some glitch, and I hate this with all my heart, it will delete your enemy Mafia one. So every single time you hit save, it like makes it permanent until you do both. So say I do enemy Colombians and I go resource, replace, there we go. And then before I hit save, also do it to the enemy Mafia, even if you haven't changed anything. Otherwise, you're just gonna get a bunch of black boxes. And if you make the mistake, you'll probably know pretty quickly. But so I would suggest keep your files straight and don't like make a million different sprites all in one patch wad, because if you have to go back and change something, you're not gonna have to like be there for 15 minutes re-adding every single one.
Yeah, I agree. That's really annoying, but obviously it's something like with experience you'll know how it works. But definitely look out for that.
Another thing is the meta folder is really nice for this, which is it pulls up every single animation and it strings them all together. So we want walk with a club while his eyes are on fire. You can like preview it. So since we only recolored it and that's it, like it's gonna be flawless. So before you hit save, make sure like I wouldn't say every single one of these. Like if you want to go through all of these, you're gonna die. But probably test it. But if you know you've changed something specifically, like say you've changed the weapons, so like walk with the shotgun. If you change what the shotgun looks like in his arms, it's a good idea to preview what he looks like while walking. And so,
yeah, just double check it. I was gonna say too, like you might even have like a small stuff that you notice, like say you've actually like put a dot with like the your mouse or something, like something in paint, right, and you just caught that in the animation, so that way you can go back and sort of delete it. But that's a helpful way to check your stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to like create a test level, I've actually got an old Hammer test level set up already, I believe. So it might be filled with Colombians. Let's see here. So, oh no, I deleted it. Oh well. All right. So we get to create a new one. So I'm gonna go Hammer. Okay. Put his shit down. Not on top of himself. And then enemy. We'll find our Mafia. And so right here, you don't even have to set them down, and you can preview their walk cycles to make sure they got it right. You just click on them and they'll go, which is nice. So, you build them a little house to preview the walk cycle, preview the death sprites. Make sure like you have like, I would create like something like real small like this, and place them right next to a door so you can like make sure the execution ones are correct. Now obviously you don't have to do this if you're only recoloring, but I mean if you're doing some more heavy stuff.
Doesn't hurt to check, and just being thorough in general will really pay off.
So now I can really preview his walk sprite, and like everything looks normal. And he's purple now. We made this. We made him purple, and we did.
Purple.
It doesn't look good at all. Like recolors are like the laziest thing. Like I'm showing you them for the simplicity's sake, for the sake of the video, because you don't want to let me spend an hour and a half doing something painstakingly hard. But like I would recommend put more effort in that, and especially with the Mafia sprites. Let's you recording? Yes, we are. Sorry, I'm all paranoid, folks. because if you recolor it, sometimes there'll be collateral damage, especially with the weapons and the swing. So you see how like the little swing trails are no longer white, now they're purple. So like it blows me away.
Yeah, that'll really mess you up.
It really blows me away just how few people actually like take time to fix this, because it's really not that hard. Like I think your best bet is just like color selecting, and then like bumping up the brush size, and just like purposefully avoiding their clothes. And you can like, there's only like 3 or 4 melee weapons on each sprite, like, so you're looking at maybe 20 sprites. Like it doesn't take any time at all. You just have to have the knowledge to, oh, I better go back in to fix that. Like there's like 2 white sprites on the knife at all times that often get recolored, and nothing looks lazier than a miscolored weapon because you were too lazy to fix it. Like you see all these purple knives tips, so you know.
It's so small, but it's so like like you said, just common. But it really, especially with the swinging, like it's such a small change that going back, because that animation itself, when the enemies are swinging at you, is so fast. But
I didn't even know that they left a white trail. I didn't like ever pay attention to it.
Yeah, just take the time, go back, edit that
like
shit.
you're in the weeds now. I've covered all the baby stuff for the editor. But we're talking about advanced.
You're in it now, man.
Yeah, if you're this far, like actually legitimately look like this is work. To resprite all this stuff, you have to like.
This ain't a game now. It's a hobby.
Yeah, this is your second job, man. Like, and as a guy,
you're putting hours into this shit, son.
Like, but you know, like, at least for me, like when I see it in the game working terrifically, like I get excited. Like I got the striped shirts on the Mafia and Colombians now for the French Mafia. If you're Human Being 3 coming soon. Yeah,
whatever. We get it, bro.
No, I'm just saying. Player sprites are way easier because like there's players can't get executed, so it's only like the walking sprites and the death sprites and maybe some cutscene sprites. Let's find that. So if you open up, say like player, he's not a good example, but like jacket, like it's all his weapons and then the masks over here. That's how you alter the masks in the selection screen. So it's just his death sprites and his walking sprites. So players are way easier. Hey Matt.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
It's my fucking fridge.
Alright,
sorry, bro.
Alright, that's okay. So, yeah, so I would say start with players instead of enemies if this is like, say, the Swans, it's nowhere near as many as the Mafia. And then even less so is when you start looking at furniture. I mean, look, boat bed, there's just 4 different choices. You don't even have to change them all if you want a different color bed. And like recolors for furniture look way better. So basically, people will lay out all their furniture in the level to choose a color scheme, and they'll go back and every item that they used, they'll make sure it like fits with that color scheme. So if you have like a couch and it's this gaudy color that doesn't fit with the room, you can recolor that way easier than like a Mafia person. So like I'd actually say start with furniture. See what you can do with furniture first.
Yeah, it's a good beginner.
Especially the way like we have too many bars, fancy offices, strip clubs, casinos in the editor. Like think of it like, where is someplace you've never gone to? A graveyard, Chuck E. Cheese, like
shoot up a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, just shoot. Yeah, maybe not. School. No, I didn't say that.
If someone can make the Chuck E. Cheese mascot and enemy sprites, I will pay you.
Yeah.
And
another PSA. Don't make a enemy sprite another community member, especially against their wishes. Like, don't do that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm just saying if you're gonna make like killable community members, don't actually. Instead,
That's
just
like
stop.
psychotic.
Cease. Also, so here's the face sprites, and most of them have more. Most of them are longer than that. Let's see here, like the cop, because they have like the mouth opening and closing, and then the blinking animation. And it's literally the same concept. Let's take Pardo, and let's put it in pictures. And then we're going to open her in GIMP. File open. Okay, what's the full thing called? SPR faceprite. There we go. Open that. And then you have Pardo. And I'll show you some better tricks next episode of how to like actually try to make them look good. But you know, this is the starter. So I don't know. What do you want to alter to Pardo?
Wait, so you said you were using his spreadsheet?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a
For Pardo?
mustache.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, do you know like because what you said with starting with furniture is pretty easy, but is there a sprite sheet that's pretty simple? Because I know like the sun has a very extensive sprite sheet. I was gonna say the henchman, but mainly
because he's bald. But what else?
no hair. I was just gonna say like, with your practice, obviously you can use enemies, but I would say if you want to get practice on a player character to edit, use the henchman, because you obviously, like he just said, you don't have to do the animation sprites. Just focus on like the top down with like combat or like the walking animation for him.
Yeah, and then you see what I'm doing here? I'm copying and pasting something. This also works really well with like hair on top-down sprites, and it's Control V to paste it, and then the basic one is Control to merge the two layers here, because you have to do that every single time. It's Control M by default, but I changed it to Control B because it's right next to V, so I can do this really fast. I'll link this to YouTube, or I'll stream this one to you once I pull it up into the game. Because you're gonna want to see Pardo's 6 stash, and so just every single sprite, and you know you just have to have an eye for stop motion and like how's it gonna look in game. I mean this takes art. This takes art and skills. Obviously you're not seeing any right now because I'm just putting a crudely drawn mustache on someone's face. But I mean, like, if you're wanting to make good face sprites, like, there's no life hack around it. You're just gonna have to put some effort into it, and then let's.
Yeah, obviously you can get help from other people, but definitely, just said,
don't like
or anything,
ask.
just experience.
Yeah, don't be like, hey, can someone make my stuff for me? But like, you know, if you meet some friends who are good at stuff, and he's willing to help you, so you check out the meta, and then you can see if it like how it looks like. For the most part, like they get faster, and eventually it'll like be weird. Like, see, I'm still holding it down, but it's stuck on 0. So just click it real fast, like single fire, and you can get a pretty good idea what it looks like. You'll see if it's like shifting. Like some people, like there's a campaign where he like copy pasted sunglasses and a scarf over Evan, but like he didn't try at all to line it up. And so, like,
it's just like hopping around.
Yeah, like, literally preview it in the meta file, please, before you post it and before you show it to the world. Like, god damn it.
It's almost, it's so obvious because it literally looks the exact same way as it is in the editor, where it's jumping around your screen.
Yeah, but I mean, it can.
You'll know.
If you're only looking at the static images of all the sprites laid out, that's hard. But like, literally, you can preview it in the meta, so you have no excuse for releasing it in that shoddy way. So Control
use it in the meta. Also, if you think too that he had to play like to publish the level, and then you're just like, oh, that looks good, and you're just like, what? But yeah, use the meta. Okay. Face sprite, mustache.
Yep. Okay. So yeah. So you saw the sprites. You saw it in the game. That's how you do it, guys. You can pretty much change every aspect. Like people are now doing fonts, which is really fucking weird. I'll talk about that later. But like. Let's see here. If I go to like score, interface, like score screen, it'll like, here's the moon and here's like your palm trees that are like coming out of the moon. So like for Berlin Blitz, I changed the moon into American flag and changed the palm trees into bullets, and that's it. And unfortunately, you can't like look at these in the meta because it's white, but I mean, you know, it's not that hard to preview in game. And so you can do a whole lot with just, you know, it's the real trick is like knowing what Dinatun called it, so you can like find it in the search bar. But at this point, you can just ask anyone.
Yeah, there's a lot of like small things, but yeah, I was gonna say previously, just with anything, once you get a feel for how log works and where stuff is located at, then it's pretty straightforward.
The last thing is, say that you're really good at making sprites. I just showed you to make sprites. You make sprites, you're happy with your sprites, now you want to show it to the world. Unfortunately, if you have those sprites only in your regular mod folder, that's not going to fly when you publish it. We already showed you how to publish it. Basically, you want to take this, you want to hit copy, you want to go and you want to find the level you want to publish. So this one is a mod folder for me. So if it doesn't have a mod folder, create the mod folder. It'll show up at the top right there, and you know, Control V that mod into it, and so when you publish it, that mod will work. It doesn't work with everything. It'll work with all player sprites, all enemy sprites, all furniture sprites. What it doesn't like, and it'll even work with like the score screen stuff. What it doesn't like is sound, music. Music's completely different than this, especially, but like even sound mods, and what else?
Gore mods.
Yeah, gore mods. There's, what is it? Let's see here. Atlas's effects, I think. Yeah, this, like the effects PNG, like say like, oh, let's kill aliens, and the blood will be purple. Like they're gonna have to manually install that. Same with teeny sprites. I found that out recently. Is like if you're looking for like how to change the stones, or like the cash money and a bunch of other really small things, it's under the teeny sprites thing instead of like its actual name in the editor. Where most things are pretty much everything. It's if you know the name in the editor, that's the name of the WAD Explorer, except for the stuff in the teeny sprites. And weapons. Weapon mods won't work. So here's the weapons patch WAD. This is like, it looks like they just tacked on to the original, because all the ones that are spaced out, please tell me I'm recording. Okay, good. All the ones that are spaced out, it's like Hotline Miami 1 stuff, and they don't affect the second game, except for like the stuff on the side. Like all the ones compact down here are the ones that work. For Hotline Miami 2. Which is strange, because like, yeah, like you see the M16 up here, and then the M16's down here someplace. Yeah, right there. And if you change the one at the top, nothing happens. So all of those, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to ask them to manually install them, which means you're going to have to give them a link. So the best one that I use is Dropbox. Now, if you make something huge that catches on, it will, it might get angry at you. And
yeah, or just take a very long time.
Yeah, or like say you're like, okay, here's the manual mods you guys have to install. Just download it. Like if like 400 people come at one time, like it'll shut down temporarily. So you're gonna have to find another site to make a backup, which I would recommend you do if it goes down. But basically, all you have to do is you click upload files, you put it there, and then you click share. And you can copy a link, and boom, you're good. You have like you can share anything with that. Like the best example would probably be Lego Mac right here. So he released right here the Dropbox link, and so you would download that. You put all the mods into your mod folder. So like his weapon mods, his sound mods would work, and like. It like, you know, that would make sure that everything worked out well for you. So
just specifically for that. And I was gonna say too, with Dropbox, that would probably be like your #1 best bet. And I think if you have a Gmail account, it's super easy because it just like almost like automatically signs you up and signing in. And for download stuff when we get into music mods, those are very, very big files. Yes, and so it is possible for Dropbox to crash halfway through, which is always lovely. But in general, like I was gonna say, Dropbox and Mega.nz are your two main ones. Do you want to talk about Mediafire really quick?
Mediafire is the one that's banned, right?
Yeah, and I've seen people link it, but you do this stuff where you like space apart the URL. But
That's
yeah,
just a
Steam
pain.
does not
That would
like.
that would be your last go. Mega NZ would work. Like pretty much Dropbox. Also Google Drive. Google Drive is another one that works. So yeah, I think that's basically the basics of modding. It's up to you to like figure out like how to make good stuff, and I'm gonna show you some tricks next episode. I think there's one last thing is walls.
Nice.
I wanted to cover walls, and that is because you have to do both. I mean, it's pretty obvious once you actually look at it, but every single wall like has a horizontal and the vertical, and so you make sure you do both of those, and then you'll see like you can't find the corners anywhere. That's because all the corners are on the backgrounds. Yep, right here. So like all the tiles, edges, everything here is on the backgrounds. This is a really good one to mess with also at first. This is actually probably the best to start out with because you just have a shitload of tiles
so small.
you can mess with it. Like it's not that offensive. Plus they left space for us to mod in extra things. So I almost want to show them that, but we were almost wrapping up, and then I remembered this. So here's the corners right here in the center. Let's start with this. So actually, I'm like you extract it. So I'm gonna pull up mine right now. I'm gonna go File, Open, and then we're gonna go take a trip to Human Being 3. Open that shit up.
Especially
now, this is very work in progress. The reason basically what I've done here is I've erased all the tiles that are redundant. Like there's a shitload of redundant ones in floors. There's the carpets have a couple that's like it's the same exact color, just like the dots are rearranged. And that's why it's missing a whole bunch right now, because like I'm leaving spots open when I come up with more ideas for floor tiles. Also, some of these are payloads that he gave me. Thank you, Paylo. And so
shout out.
Yeah, shout out. So let's make a carpet. So they're all of them are 16 by 16. And so it looks like that, and then I'm just gonna like color it in like that.
I was gonna say with editing tiles, it's very easy because I think one tile, like the dimensions are like 10 by 10 pixels, so like you literally can just make something neat out of that space. So it's kind of cool. Is it?
Yeah. Nice. We save that, and then let's go resource replace. I don't know why there's a button for saving, opening, and extracting, but there's no replacing button, so you have to hit resource. Just a little gripe.
Yeah, of course I can't see Rob's screen, but do you say you showed them the intersection points for the walls where they are?
I didn't. I kind of hovered over it. Let me zoom in on it.
Very cool. I was gonna say too, with the WAD Explorer, obviously if you type in walls in the WAD Explorer, it'll show you it via segment how it's separated, whether it's like brick or the default white ones. But not when we get into spriting, but basically there's a small thing too with in between windows. Like I guess if you have like a brick wall and you put like two windows in between it, there's like a segment in between those two windows that shows like the brick wall. So say we're going to take that red brick wall and make it blue, and we have windows there, the default's going to show that red segment in between, and it's like not a huge deal, but like we said, like being thorough with this is really good. And if you can find that if you type in windows, it's like windows brick something. And you can find it.
Because I didn't do that for Berlin Blitz. It's one of those things that I notice.
Yeah, and that's what when you get into spriting though, it's kind of interesting because you start to have a good eye for these details, which is good. But yeah, so if you're making a good wall mod, obviously, edit your intersection points. That's your base that you should do, but also look at the window in between segments. So just keep in mind that.
Yep. So the little smiley face I made in the rugs, now we have it as a floor pattern, and it is awful. Just completely hideous.
You will be happy.
Yep. So, yep, there we have
Rob's
that.
Funhouse.
And then, here, I'm going to hit Control P again. You see the trees in the background, the moon, and the palm trees going by. You can't change, like, the animation, how that works, or, like, how they're stacked, but you can change exactly what they look like. So, you don't have complete freedom with changing those loading screens, but, like, someone recently, like, changed the backgrounds into, like, early 2000s New York, where the Twin Towers is still up in front of the moon, and then, like, it's street posts, and that looked really cool. That was, like, so you have to just use creativity, because you're kind of restricted, but you can change a couple things.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I'm not going to show you how to do that, because this episode's gone on like enough. Thanks for watching, you guys. We kind of already did our goodbyes before I went on that little tangent. So.
Did you talk about mods don't make your level good? Can I say that?
Oh, yeah. Hey. Okay. we were supposed to start out with that.
Yeah. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Guess what? We're going back to previous videos, but in general, mods don't make your level good. Level design makes your levels good. So, like mods in general, and we'll talk about spriting, that's going to be the cherry for your sundae, but it doesn't help if your sundae is made out of garbage. So once you get your core basics,
can't polish
make sure you have that down pat. Yes, you cannot polish a turd. So make sure your house is in order, and so you put your finishing touches on it. So yeah, so level design first hand, that's going to be your core, and then you can play around with spriting.
Yep, I totally agree. I think this episode is going to be pretty popular because I've been getting a lot of demands for making mods. But if you haven't seen episode 2 level design yet, you need to go watch that first, because if you have a beautiful looking level that plays like shit, it's shit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And people might be like, oh, well, it's still good, like 8 out of 10 because mods. No, like when it comes down to Pat, fucking, I don't know what this fucker just said. When it comes down to it, it's, yeah, you just need your level design, because I'd rather take a vanilla level with no mods or sprites, but it plays so well, and I'd take that any day over
like
one that's just like, yeah, that's a good one. That's pretty recent.
No mods at all. Go play Croak.
Croak.
Okay, well, gave him a shout out, and I think we're done
Okay.
here.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The next one's definitely going to be a big one and highly requested. So yeah, stick around for that.
Yeah. Guest speaker. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.